Joining me on the line, he is from right here in the Big D, ladies and gentlemen. Dale is on the line. Now, Dale, the reason you're on the air today with me is because you were at the Ozzy show where he bit the head off a bat, correct?
Yes, I was.
All right, let's go back in time. That was January, 20th, 1982. I would have been I would have just become 1 year old. So how old were you?
Oh, boy. I was 15 years old. This was the first concert that I ever attended.
No way. It really was the first concert.
Yes, it was. First concert I ever attended. You know, when I first went to this concert and even the concept of it being my first concert, I think Diary of a Madman, things like that, things like that were coming out, and I was listening to a lot of that. And, I grew up with older brothers, so, it was exciting. It was thrilling. I was a 15-year-old kid, I was out in the crowd. I was with some friends. I was smoking a little weed, drinking a little drink, and,
kid stuff.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. When you got 10 older brothers, to me, yeah, it's kind of kid stuff.
There you go. Dale's on the line with me. He was there the night Ozzy bit the head off a bat. All right, let's set this up. I've heard that it was a very cold night. I've heard that it was packed. It was how was the show? Let's start there. Was it a good show overall?
Yeah. Oh, it was great. I mean, for me being my first show in general, it was fabulous because I didn't have anything to measure it by.
Okay, so where were you in the building, Dale?
I was in the front row, right in front of the stage.
How did you get to the front row, right in front of the stage?
A whole lot of work. Remember, I'm 15 years old. I'm 15 years old. So I'm 53 now. So I had that energy back then.
So you just kind of weaseled your way up to the front of the stage is what you're saying.
Yeah, that and with some help with some friends, yes.
There you go. Okay, Dale, let's go to the show. Another guy I talked to about this said that where he was sitting, the whole bat thing wasn't as big of a deal as what of the legend it became, because it just really wasn't a big deal. He doesn't even know if he saw it. He was there, but doesn't know if he saw it. What was your experience sitting in the front row when this did you see him take the bite out of the bat?
Yes, I did.
Okay, where was it in the show? Was it like towards the beginning, towards the end?
Towards the end of the show. Excuse me. It was towards the end of the show. He'd been performing, doing his wild, crazy stuff like he does, as the years gone by, I've come to find out. And somebody had thrown some things up on the stage, and one of them happened to be the bat. And he, in my opinion, just eyes were lasered onto that, went over and grabbed it, being Ozzy and being his crazy self, went over, grabbed it, kind of, and picked it up and looked out into the crowd, mainly towards the people that are up in the front, and had a grin on his face, kind of held it up in front of him and just bit into it like you were biting into a chicken leg.
Off the air, you were telling me that you don't think he thought it was a real bat, right?
No, he didn't. He did not think it was a real bat at all. Like I said, he bit into the head like he thought he was eating a chicken leg.
So all of a sudden, the facial expressions change, huh?
No, not really. To be really honest with you, no. He seemed pretty proud of what he did. I mean, it was who he was, and I believe at that time, Ozzy was just getting a little wilder and crazier. If you look at 1982, as the years gone by, and he bit the head off and kind of looked out in the crowd, and you kind of see some blood running down his chin, and that's when I think more of the road crew and them guys realized what he actually had done.
Oh, wow. So did they stop the show? Did he drop the bat? Did he throw it into the stage? What happened after he took the bite out of the bat?
Still had the bat, the carcass or the body of the bat in his hand. The roadies and the crew came out. They kind of took him off of stage and cleaned him up. I think we had maybe a 5 to 10 minute break because it was kind of like towards the end of the show, and he was pretty much done. So they cleaned him up, and he came back out for an encore song, played another song, and said adios and good night, and that was it. But at the time, nobody really in the auditorium or anything actually thought that what we had just seen was real.
It's got to be weird to be a part of that moment, right?
Now that I look back on it, yes, because I'm 53 years old. Back then, I was 15 years old. It was my first concert, so I didn't go in there knowing what to expect. I mean, it was something so different that now that I look back on it and realize what I've seen, to some people, it's a whole different thing,
Dale is joining me on the line right now. He's was at the show. What else do you remember from that night? That's the thing. Everybody always, will say the bat, but what else was it about that night that really sticks out? Anything, or is that the thing of the night, that it was just, wow, Ozzy bit the head off a bat?
I think, one of the things that stand out was the coldness, the cold weather.
Okay.
I think another thing, now I'm looking back on hindsight here as we're talking, good old Vets Auditorium.
Yeah.
The ability to be able to be a kid and to be wild and be free and just be whoever you wanted to be. I mean, now that I'm older and I look back on it, because I was 15 then, I'm 53 now. So I don't know that I ever expected to live to be 53, to be quite honest with you.
There are some folks that would completely go that way too. Dale joining me on the line. So it was, all in all, it was a good night, right?
Oh, it was a fabulous night. I mean, for me, it was the very first concert that I ever attended. So I didn't know really what to expect. I know there was a lot of good-looking women there, though. That's always a plus.
Yeah, really, right? So the next day when you saw this come out in the paper, was there like, holy S, I was there last night, or what?
Yeah, I you know what, in my mind and in my heart, I've always thought that, like, wow, what I just seen was, something that people are going to be obviously talking about for years, and as me and you were speaking, we're still talking about it.
Just, it's crazy. I can't imagine being there, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I didn't realize until a few years ago that actually happened in Des Moines.
Really?
Like, I had to look it up. Yeah, I don't know why. I knew the story, and someone said, yeah, that happened in Des Moines, and I was like, wait, what? And they said, yeah, it happened at Vets. I'm like, really? And I had to go look it up, and yeah, it's crazy how something that happened in our backyard is known throughout the world.
Yeah, and in fact, I think after the incident happened, they rushed him out of there and took him over to Broadlawns for some rabies shots, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so it was Broadlawns. Yes,
that's what I remember reading and seeing, that, yeah, they took him out of there and took him over to Broadlawns.
See, I heard one of the things I did hear was they took him to Mercy first, and I believe it was Mercy. Didn't have rabies shots there, so they had to take him somewhere else. That
may be possible, but all I know for sure is that he ended up at Broadlawns Medical.
Huh. I wonder if there's any pictures over there of that.
That's a good question. I know I've seen many photos of many different things, but I don't know if they did or not. But like I said, back then, everybody that was there, we really didn't know what it was that we just seen.
Yeah, it's rare that when history happens, people understand what's going on right then and there, right?
Makes sense. Makes total sense.
Dale, you know what? That's a hell of a story, and I'm glad to have heard it, man.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the time to tell you that. Like I said, I've always been an Ozzy fan, and I always will be. I think he's one of the greatest artists that ever have been around. And a lot of people are familiar with obviously many Ozzy songs, but for me personally, my favorite Ozzy song is "Killer of Giants."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't think that song is ever played that often, or people may not even know that song.
I'd have to, truth be told, I'd have to go look for it, because I don't know if I know what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's called Killer of Giants. It's talking about the United States pushing the button, how people take things for granted,
okay,
and so on and so forth.
I'll look it up. Dale, one other question for you. Did you save your ticket from that night?
You know what? I believe I do have it.
Really?
I think I do have the ticket stub. Yep, I'd have to go back through my paperwork and take a look and see if I do, but I'm pretty sure I do have it.
Hey, if you ever find it, send me a picture, okay?
I will do so.
All right. Dale, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to this 95 KGGO podcast. Make sure to check out kggo.com for more.